Hello, hello. This is Donna Mann. I'm on tonight for just a little bit, just to talk about communication in marriage. After looking at that podcast, I was just thinking about all the things that I've learned from being married for 32 years and being married for 1 year and 6 months. And I just want to just talk about a little comparison with how important it is to communicate in your marriage because, communicate in anything, but mostly I'm talking about marriage right now because I thought about it, just brought back memories about how I really wasn't paying attention when I ended up with the person that faked and came and married me. I was not paying attention because in that marriage, I'll save the best for last, but in that marriage for 1 year and 6 months, that person was not even communicating with me. I mean, to the point this being in the house with me and not talking to me. So how in the world can you have a marriage and you're not talking? That doesn't make sense, does it? No, it really doesn't make sense because when I was in that marriage, the person was just doing stuff, really wasn't talking to me. For instance, I'll give you this example. The person said that they were leaving their job that they were working on and they were going to come home. And I thought maybe because he said he was a pastor and all that, that he was going to get ready to, do ministry. But the person was here maybe a month, really didn't talk about anything, really wasn't comfortable. That was my sign right there. Wasn't comfortable. And so he ended up filling out papers and getting back on the job. Didn't talk to me, didn't discuss any of that. He got back on the job. And I was like, what in the world is going on to myself? What is happening? But just did not communicate at all. I really didn't know what was going on from one day to the next. And even when the person, matter of fact, he was a truck driver, even when he was gone, he didn't even talk to me after, if it was 5 o'clock. He said he didn't really talk anymore after that. So, I mean, you talking about no communication. What if I got sick and had to call the person? I text the person a couple of times, never answered me back or anything. So I was in a marriage with no communication. That's like you in a dark room with no light and you running into stuff. It just doesn't make sense. But I'm just saying, when you are, going to get married to someone and this person actually fooled me, like he was talking at first, but then he stopped talking. So, I mean, he really wasn't talking about how we were going to come together and do certain things and all that. None of that was discussed. Nothing. I mean, I was married to the person, but nothing about, well, what are we going to do with our bank accounts? What are we going to do with the bills? None of that was discussed. None of that stuff. When I tell you that I'm glad I'm not in that, nothing was discussed about those things. So I'm just saying, if you find yourself with somebody like that, make sure that you ask a lot of questions and that you get to know the person's maybe family members, friends. Ask where are your friends. The person really didn't have friends. And I really didn't know the family, none of that, until something happened. The mom died, and I was around a few of the family members that were acting like he was the plague. So they really weren't talking. But a couple of people, one person was talking. The uncle was laughing, saying, I know you're not going to be trying to get married again, all this stuff. And I kind of didn't pay attention. I should have been paying attention, but I didn't pay attention. But you need to pay attention to all those types of things so that you won't wind up with, unequally yoked with someone that's really don't have your best interests at heart. I mean, nothing. Just nothing. It was just really not good. Not good. But anyway, that podcast triggered a lot of stuff, in my mind about different things. Now, I'm going to leave that toxic relationship alone, but I'm going to talk about my husband of 32 years. Okay. My husband that I was married to for 32 years, we communicated from day one. We always communicated. I met his mom and dad, brothers, sisters. I met all those people, but most of all, he loved his mom. Mom loved him. Dad loved his dad. He was really, his parents were family oriented, and I didn't have that problem. My husband communicated with me all the time. We talked about everything. We were like best friends. I didn't have to worry about, calling up nobody on the phone, saying anything, because we always talked about everything. But it was one little thing that wasn't good. My husband was an alcoholic. And when I married him, I didn't know that he was an alcoholic. He was a functioning alcoholic. But during that time, we still did things together and everything. And when I, gave my life to the Lord, for real, my husband said that he was not going to go up against God. And he said, I'm not going to no club. I'm not doing nothing anymore. And he actually did not do anything but drink. He just did not do anything else, like going out with the fellows, all that kind of stuff. He didn't do any of that. And he encouraged me to do things. I had freedom to do things. Like go on trips. He was not like, because I was from North Carolina, he was from Virginia. He would come with me all the time to North Carolina to visit my family. So much that his parents was like, well, can you all stay up here a little bit? But he was always with me at times, and sometimes he wasn't with me. He trusted me. I trusted him, and he trusted me. Now, I just told you my husband was an alcoholic, but he was a functioning alcoholic. But when he wasn't drinking, he was, he was like, talked about things, talked about the future, all kinds of stuff. He knew more about me than I knew about myself. That's how I knew that, he loved me. He really loved me. He just couldn't shake that alcohol, and he wasn't a violent person. He would just go to sleep. But he worked every day. He was not laying around. He worked all the time. He was a functioning alcoholic where he worked. And he took care of us very well. I had the best doctors, everything, best health care, all that stuff. He took care of us. But the thing of it was, like I said, he didn't shake that. They told him, don't drink. This was going to happen. That was going to happen. And then one day, it all hit him at one time. So we had to live with that. I left my job to take care of him. for the time that he had left. I stayed with him, took care of him, because guess what? It says, death do you part. And I did what I was supposed to do. I honored my husband, although that he drank at times. I honored him. I did not talk down at him, make him feel bad, none of that. He went to church sometimes with me. I mean, he needed to be delivered from the alcohol, which that didn't happen. You can't force people when they have addictions. You can't force them to do anything. They have to, volunteer to get help and all that. But I'm just letting you know that, God was with me. God was with him. But I'm just saying, it's best to communicate. He communicated very well to me. That's why I can still live, because he always talked with me and talked with my girls. He always did. So I will probably have to have a part 2, because I'm going to jump off here. I just wanted to get on and talk about communication. It's very important. Very important. Trust is important. I mean, we have a lot of people not trusting one another. They're in these marriages. They're not working together. We flipped houses. We did everything together. We had 3 homes. We did everything together. So I'll talk about this again on next week or sometime, but I'm going to hop off here now. I'm just going to tell you about my books again real quick. This is my newest book, called Kingdom Keys for Your Morning. It's a devotional, and it's a very good book. Go on Amazon, Donna Mann, look for this book, or go to DonnaMannsMinistries.com and order the book. It's very good. This is the book about the man I was with for 1 year and 6 months, all the things that happened, the stranger I thought I knew, Hidden Signs of a Narcissist. Good book. Easy read. This one was the first book that I did. It's Time to Live the Kingdom Way. This is a very good book. Go on Amazon or DonnaMannsMinistries.com. And this is the workbook that goes with it. I'm trying to get people to get the workbook because it's very good together. And my children's book, to help kids get on the right track and taking care of doing things the God kind of way. This is The Kingdom of God, A Story for Children by Donna Mann. And this book is also on Amazon.com and on Donna Mann's Ministry. But I will be a part 2, talk about this next week. But just know that you need to communicate in marriages, and you need to trust one another. Okay? So have a good night. Be blessed. Love you. And I'll be back on next week. Okay? Bye-bye.